Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. On the program this morning, we've got a lot of juicy stories making the round in the world of sports. From athletics to football, that is the round leader game. And in Nigeria, what we need to do to get this Budapest ticket right there in Lagos. I will not be doing the program alone, but before I'll introduce to my guest on the show, I also have another guest all the way from Plateau State via the Zoom. But let's head straight to Lagos, where the Budapest 2023 qualification for our relay teams, three of them, the 4x100 meter relay team for men, for the women, and then the 4x400 meter relay team for men and women also, and then the 4x100 meter for men also, but for the women they've gotten that qualification ticket to Budapest. That will be happening, that will be coming up. That is the World Athletics Championship coming up next month, but we need to get the qualification ticket right there. Over the weekend in Togo, Benin Republic precisely, we were not able to get the actual time. We just missed out by some microseconds, but this time around right there at the Yaba Tech, our athletes, as we speak right now, the track is burning with their spikes, and you know what it is. They are actually preparing for the World Athletics Championship in Budapest. I have Umar Madia with me this morning to actually do some justice to the first story we have and other stories. Madia, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's always a delight being on 360 Sports.
All right. Quickly, let's head straight to Lagos. Our athletics team, that's for men and women, and 10 Gossip Women flew in last week to join the team. Now, we need to get that qualification ticket. The event is happening today right there at the Lagos Classic. Because last weekend it was just by some microseconds we actually missed out. We would have qualified if we had gotten that time in Togo, Benin Republic, but we missed out. These are another opportunity, but the last opportunity for us to qualify and join other teams that will be going to Budapest. Now, do you think we can get this ticket right in Lagos today? That is Yaba Tech.
Yes, I believe that we can actually do it, but I need to call the Athletic Federation of Nigeria out, because I think that in the past couple of years, it's just the women that have been doing so much. Where are the men?
Why would you say
Yes, sometimes you go out there for a competition, but it doesn't really matter if you're there or not if you do not bring in laurels. We need to see these men, taking the front seat and bringing in laurels. It's one thing to feature in a competition, and it's another thing for you to actually be a winner. So just like we have Toby Amusa and the rest of the people who are actually doing this, we want to see the men sign their name in gold. We want to see the men do things that they haven't done in a while. So I think that the competition today, coming to the competition today, I think that we would do great, but we need to put all of our acts together if we have to get that qualification ticket. But going into it, I would like to sound like a very, very positive Nigeria right now. I think we have what it takes to get that ticket.
We have what it takes to get that ticket. I don't know if Abba Michael all the way from Plateau State is actually ready for us. Abba Michael is not ready. Like you said, you have that confidence in these guys to actually get the ticket. But before now, AFN, when the national trials happened in Benin City, there was a statement from AFN, not a statement, though they meant it, that any foreign athlete that is not around for the national trials will not get that ticket, will not join other team to Budapest. But Gossip Brumen, at the end of the day, after missing his flight 4 good times, he was able to join up the team. He's joining up with the team. What does that mean? After AFN has said, okay, we will not welcome those who did not come down, but now he eventually came down and was given that chance to join the team. Is it a good one from AFN? I
think we've always have this notion of treating people who are not Nigerian based special than people who are based in Nigeria, and that's been the problem that we've had as a nation who is going into competition, who is trying to bring the best hand into place. There's nothing special about a foreign based sportsman or athlete who wants to represent Nigeria, but the act of discipline. As a sportsman, you have to be very disciplined, and that's the #1 key for you to be successful. So I know that there are engagements out there. You probably are not in the country and you have other engagements there. But missing 1, 2, 3, even 4 times, that's just out of it. So I believe that you should actually train your home base. And if there's any complacency in any of these athletes outside the country, I think you should drop them. That's why big clubs, let's say in the world of football now, you cannot be bigger than your team. You cannot be bigger than your coach. You cannot be bigger than a body, an athletic body. So if this is happening, I think I am not so impressed about, welcoming him. Brume, I know Brume is busy, but it shouldn't be too busy for a country you want to represent. Most of the laurels he has won, he won representing Nigeria. So why would you take something like that, so small, so cynical, and less important than whatever you're doing outside of the country?
Okay, whatever it is, the AFN, I think the mom came out and actually made some plea. At the end of the day, the sister also said something, that is a Brume now, also said something about her daughter. They said because of the flight issue and whatever, he could not make it down to Benin. But at the end of the day, before last week, I think that was last week, Wednesday, he came into the country and he has joined up with the team. Let's see what happens in Lagos at the end of the day. But as we speak, I think that race is actually going on. The likes of Togo, Ghana, they are equally at Yabatek. But we pray and hope that we get that qualification ticket for all our relay teams. Already the women have qualified, so we need other teams. The mixed relay team has qualified. The 4x100 meters relay team for women has already qualified. So it's now left for the other teams, mostly the male team, to get that qualification ticket. But let's see how it ends at the end. How it ends at the end of the day, right there in Yabatek. And let's move away from that story. If Abba Micah is ready, definitely he's going to react to that athletic story. Okay, let's move on because he's not ready for us. Let's go to the next story where we'll have for you this morning. That is the NLO Under 19 Youth League that is ongoing across the country. We have in Lagos and then in other centers of the state. But quickly we'll have some results that came in match day 1, and we'll have some fixtures also for match day 2. But let's have the quickly the result for match day 1 is on the screen right now. Choice FC, as they are called, lost to Agbabna WFA 2-1. It ended after 1-1 in the first half. Then Agbabna had to left it late at the dying stages of that game, got the second goal, and then we'll have Wonder Exchange FC 1 and then Saint FC 0, and then Able FC 1 and Kogi Pillars 0. And these are the results that is coming in for match day 1. Now the NLO has actually put together a very beautiful league by organizing Under 19 Youth League. Now we have some of these results. About these 3 matches went down in match day 1, and then as it stands right now, the whole organization, how do you see NLO organizing the youth league?
Okay, so there's a lot of things that happens when you want to talk about some of these things. Now, if you want to talk about this Under 19 that has been organized, the NLO and everything, I would say that this is a welcome development. We've seen what happens behind the screen. I tell you, in the world of sport, I know that a lot of things happen that we don't even know about, and sometimes we just come out and just analyze and say a lot of things and do the blame games. Now, where I'm going to is the fact that we are organizing these competitions, which we have been clamoring out as sport analysts, that we have to have some of these tournaments, local tournaments that actually breed very clean, fresh players into our smaller teams. Now, take a look at the Under 17 now, the girls. They actually did very well.
Why are you hammering on the women?
No.
Is it because you are
no, I'm a woman and I have to blow my trumpet. But,
okay,
let's see how this goes. You will agree with me that we've been the one, or let's say I'm not part of the team, but the women have been the one making the country proud in the last few months and let's say in the past year. So now if we have most of this team playing feeder teams now, and then it's time for us to put out competition out there, maybe put a team together to play for Under 17, Under 15 and all that. We do not have to do the football age anymore. Now we have a team that we know that we have players, we have people who have been playing their trades, who have the skills to represent the country outside Nigeria. So when we do all of these small teams now, which I think think is a welcome development. We'll have people who actually will represent the country, and we know that we are putting out their good hands who actually do this. Now, I would say that it's very early for me to analyze that, you know, this team is not doing well, this team is not doing well, because this is just the beginning. And when you go into a tournament, it's not very, very good or not very wise for you to start saying that this team will not do well, because in the game of football, any other sport, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes. But I'm so elated that this is actually happening, and then we'll be able to pick teams that can represent Nigeria on the 20 and not go out there and be scouting for people who are not serious and take us as second class.
Yeah, and not go out there and scout for people who will not take the country serious. But it's a good one coming in for the from the NLO organizing the Under-19 Youth League, and I will have some matches in some results of match day 1. And let's quickly have the fixtures for today. We'll have fixtures for match day 2. This is how it's going to pan out. Choice FC will now take on Wonder Exchange FC, Saint FC against Kogipilas FC, and Able God. How able would they be against Agbabna WFA? Now, these are some of the fixtures. Let's look at Kogipilas. I think Kogipilas is not doing well when it comes to, let me say, sports in general and football. They have the conference. We have for the ladies, we have for the men, and now they have their Under-19 youth team also participating in the Under-19 Youth League this time around. What is working for Kogi State?
I think it's a reconstitution of the team. When that relegation actually happened and they were not able to play in the MPFL anymore, I think it was a call to reorganize the team and see what's going on, going back to the drawing board and say, see, this thing is not working for us. Let's see if we can go fresh, go all out there and see players who can bring in. I think that's what is working for them, and whatever they're doing right now, I think is really working for them. They should just keep it up and see what happens. Or maybe we might just see them back into the MPFL and see how they play their trades, and maybe Nigeria can even get good players from there as well.
Maybe Nigeria can actually get good players from maybe Kogi United, their ladies and what have you in that from that state. But good one coming in from the NLO. Those are some of the fixtures that we're having for match day 2, and as it stands, whoever wins that league deserves to win it. And I'm going to see the first top teams from all of the teams that are participating will get automatic qualification to the nationwide league proper, and then the other teams at the bottom will go for playoffs, and then any other team that wins the playoff join the rest of the team, and others will get relegated. Okay, let's move away from that story and head straight to CAF. That is where it happened in Cote d'Ivoire yesterday. It happened where this sorry about that. We have the FIBA African Basketball Championship where our own D Tigers lost out. That is their game against DR Congo. After putting up a very good performance in their first game, second game they lost against the host, that is Angola, but they couldn't do the job again against DR Congo. They lost that particular game, and as it stands right now, they've crashed out of the FIBA African Basketball Championship 2023 happening in Angola. I think D Tigers, made of home base most usually, have actually given their best, but their best was not enough against DR Congo.
You know, when you look at games like this, you begin to wonder why some foreign coach will go for some coaches rather will go for foreign players. If you leave me to reconstitute this team, I think I would, half of the team members who played yesterday and crashed out, I'm going to drop all of them, probably be in the bench and see what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 matches. I think we're not doing enough as a basketball team in Nigeria. D Tigers were one of the best in Nigeria. When you hear the D Tigers, you just have to know that they are a team to reckon with. But that is not the case anymore, because I wasn't expecting this. I know that, you know, their opponents are very good players, but I wasn't expecting that they crash out. But all in all, this is a time where we need to go back to the drawing table. You know, you need to go back and see what doesn't work and what works for you. And if you need help, if you need to go outside of the country, if you feel like there's somebody who is a Nigerian who can represent us in this team and can play, I think you should just bring them in and let's do what we can to actually put our name out there. Nigeria, when it comes to sport, it's dwindling, and it's really hurting when I see a lot of things that we have everything it takes to win any tournament that we put our mind to. But because of we have leaders or let's say players who are not very serious with the craft, then we start seeing mistakes like this, which is not acceptable. You say when you ask any Nigerian now that this is not acceptable because we have what it takes. Though we have problems of, you know, challenges of kits and all that, which of course I haven't heard for D Tigers, but we can do more if we put our mind to it. And if people who are heading some of these federations or some of this body will actually do more to see that our players get everything that they want and go out there and really fight to be winners.
Well, if we have some of our presidents of these various federations actually doing their craft very well, we'll have the best of the best. But as it stands, the D Tigers have crashed out from the FIBA African 2023 after they lost that game to DR Congo. Let's have the result on the screen quickly. Let's see how it ended after they actually gave it a very good fight from the first set, second set, and then the last set. They couldn't hold their own, and it ended 74-72, just 2 points that actually made Nigeria to lose that quarterfinal game, and that eventually booted them out of the competition. But at this time, I think they are going to hold their head up high, because none of the players that went there were foreign based. All of them were picked from our various basketball teams. We have from Gombe Bulls, Kano Pillars, and the rest of them made up that team. But at the end of the day, they gave a very good fight right there in Angola. But they say he who fights and run away come back to fight another day. So we are still going to have another chance maybe next time when we get to qualify for that tournament. And let's leave that story. Let's leave Angola and head straight to where everything happened in Cote d'Ivoire yesterday, where the 2026 FIFA World Cup draws, that is the qualifiers, was actually happened, and Nigeria found themselves in Group C, where we have South Africa, Benin Republic, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, and Lesotho. Eventually, we know we'll be coming up against our former coach, Genetra, who is now the gaffer of Benin Republic. But South Africa, Benin Republic, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Lesotho. And let's not forget, all of the groups, the top teams get the automatic qualification. The second, you have to go for playoff. But Nigeria in Group C. Now, how do you fancy our chances in this group?
You know, you might want to look at this group now and see Lesotho, you see Rwanda, Zimbabwe, and then you feel like, okay, these are teams that, you know, we can actually walk over. I tell you, this group is a group of death, fight to finish. You talked about fighting to fight another day. This one, you might not have an opportunity to fight another day. Now, look at South Africa. The Bafana is always a problem. It's as if they have a problem with Nigeria. When it comes to Nigeria, they bring their best. They do their best. Their coach will not sit. Their players will fight to win Nigeria in any match. That's a team that have, let's say, a country that have their, you know, lesser teams than their overall senior team doing very well. Why would you tell me that somebody like Daniel Akpeyi will play in Kaizer Chiefs if their leagues are not doing very well? They have one of the best leagues in Africa, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So, and because they have developed their smaller leagues, they are now benefiting from what they have done by bringing some of these people into their senior team. And that is what they have. That is what they're capitalizing on that Nigerians don't have. So look at the team from Bafana now. You know that is a fight that you might finish or you might not finish. Now look at Benin, just like you mentioned. Genetra, since he was sacked, we haven't met his team. He's coaching Benin right now. Now, he knows the way that we play. And in the last couple of matches that Nigeria have played, it's full of disappointment. Sorry I'm sounding like this, but we have to be very frank.
That's the truth.
I watched the Super Eagles play at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, and it was disappointing. Then you see a Super Eagles player. I know that sometimes the game of football is strenuous. You have to run from one end of the pitch to the other. But I found it very disappointing that some of these people would just squat just to rest. And I was like, a game of football, seriously? And the coach is not taking them out? It was really disappointing, and that's what we've been seeing from series of matches that Nigeria's senior team has been playing. And then you're wondering, should we reconstitute the team? Should we do something else? That is for Benin Republic. So this is a danger zone for Nigeria. Now look at Rwanda. Rwanda is a strong team, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
They will come out with their A games because they feel like, okay, in the past few matches that they've seen Nigeria play, they have not done really, really well.
Okay. Well,
Zimbabwe and Lesotho might be a walkover, but not so a walkover.
It might not be a walkover. Yes. I think Albert Michael is actually ready. Albert Michael, we've packed the athletic story. We've talked about the basketball, and now we are in the group where Nigeria is grouped in Group C. That is for the World Cup qualifiers 2026. That will be happening in is a co-host tournament. Canada, United States of America, 3 countries are actually hosting that tournament. That is in 2026. And now, Albert Michael, I don't know if you are ready for us now. Can you react to Super Eagles finding themselves in Group C of that World Cup qualifiers?
Yes, I mean, what is the World Cup without the Super Eagles? We missed out the last time. The most populous nation in Africa not being featured at the FIFA World Cup. I mean, it's not just complete if Nigeria is not there. And so the Super Eagles have to pull off the shirt of being called a favorite and face this group squarely. Kudos to FIFA for expanding the World Cup slots for the African continent. I think they're expanding it to a total of 48. It's a good thing for football, and we are hoping that it's an opportunity for Nigeria not to miss out on it this time. I think the group looks surmountable for the Super Eagles, but I have a problem with the Super Eagles. When it comes to playing lesser teams, with all due respect, they don't seem to even bring their A game. They play with so much laxity. They believe we are the giants of Africa. They believe we are one of the most successful teams in Africa. And because of that, we play with so much laxity, believing that we have all the superstars. Yes, we have Victor Osimhen. Yes, we have Kelechi Iheanacho. But I tell you what, look at what Sierra Leone did to us. We had to nip it to the bud at the death in the last encounter we had. The Super Eagles, I think the coach has a lot of work to do when it comes to synchronizing the players we have representing Nigeria for the Super Eagles. Hopefully, I believe that this World Cup ticket is a sure thing for Nigeria to book.
Okay, it's a sure ticket for Nigeria to actually get that qualification to World Cup 2026. But sincerely speaking, I have my fears. South Africa, Benin Republic, but Nigeria is a very big country. We can do it if we put our acts together. Let's quickly leave that story right now and then head straight to Wimbledon, right there in London, where our own African player, our own Minister of Happiness, as she is called, Ons Jabeur, straight to the final after beating Aryna Sabalenka in her semi-final game. That game ended in favor 6-7, 5-7, 6-4, 6-3 to actually book these finals. And Vondrousova, that she's going to be playing, defeated Elina Svitolina 6-3, 6-3. But quickly, Albert Michael, Ons Jabeur into the final, her second final in her career so far. How do you see this feat for Ons Jabeur of Tunisia?
Yes, I mean, it's a good thing for Africa. As far as tennis is concerned, she's the biggest star to emerge from the African continent. First of the Northern African origin, first of the Arabian origin, so many firsts. I mean, she's definitely the GOAT of Africa. I love the fact that she was able to take down two-time winner in Kvitova at the 4th round. She went all the way to beat Aryna Sabalenka in the semi-finals. And that's the world number 2. And then in the quarterfinals, she beat world number 6, Rybakina, my favorite tennis player. I mean, she is taking down all the giants of tennis. But then it comes as no surprise. Last year, she was the world number 2. We saw her in the US Open and Wimbledon semifinals. Australia Open and French semifinals. Now we are seeing her in the Wimbledon. I believe that now that she has taken down all these giants, it's the first time and the opportunity for an African of northern origin to win a Grand Slam. This is not just going to be a happiness for Tunisia, it's going to be a happiness for the entire African continent. The whole of Africa should throw their weight behind her, support her, and ensure that she brings home, the first Grand Slam title for Africa. On the other side, Novak Djokovic is into another finals again, shattering all the records en route to the finals. Yes, he stated that he sees himself as the favorite. And you know what? I think it's already a record-tying Grand Slam for Novak Djokovic.
Okay, you think it's a record time, but my own concern is for Onjabwa to actually win the final come tomorrow, because I am an African and I will be happy because she's one player I'm rooting for. But I think quickly before we go on the show, let's talk about Hurricane right now, where Tottenham say they are going to offer him a new deal worth more than £400,000 in 3 seconds. Should Hurricane take this deal, my dear?
No.
Why?
Yes, of course.
No, he shouldn't.
Okay. Michael, you said yes. Your reason?
He should take the deal because at least £400,000 a week will put him at par with the likes of Mohamed Salah. He should still stick to the English Premier League, maybe win 1 or 2 trophies, give Tottenham one more chance, and see what happens before he goes to gather all the hundreds of millions in Saudi.
Okay, all right, that is where we'll leave it on the show. Michael, thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
You're welcome.
All right, and to my beautiful lady, my dear, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. I probably will tell you why he shouldn't take the money in maybe another show, probably when he finally signs the deal or when he declines the deal.
Okay, when he declines or finally signs. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. Say thanks for watching.